our job ultimately is to make it easy for that employer giving them what they want to read in the resume so that we can do that. And hence, I always refer to the example of if the fishing, when we go fishing, whatever you put in as a bait or in that fishing rod will establish sometimes the type of fish that you're going to get. So some people dig the ground and get a worm, they put it in the hook, they put it in the water, they're likely, I would say, they're likely going to get a fish the size of your palm. But if you put, for example, in your hook a shrimp or a small fish, you might get a salmon or you might get a tuna, something like that, to that effect. So the strength of your resume will establish what you're getting on the other side. Okay. Again, general guidelines for resume. You should have a base resume and tailor this into the job description, as we said. Try to use as much as possible bullet formats, 2 lines max if you can. Avoid using paragraphs, especially if it's 3 lines or longer, because it is exhaustive to the eye and people have to go left and right, up and down. So keep it as simple as an executive summary, bullet points. You also want to learn to listen to what the employer is looking for in the job description. So there's a difference between reading a job description as a newspaper read and listening to the job description beyond what they're saying. What are they repeating in the job description? What are they? Because if something is important, I will say it in the introduction of the job description. I'll say it in the job description activities. I'll say it in the qualifications. You'll see them repeating certain things throughout the job description, and that's how we listen to what makes a difference. A lot of companies are automating the intake of resumes. You probably heard about the ATS systems, applicant tracking systems, and how in these systems, employers are getting bombarded by hundreds and maybe thousands of resumes, and they have to find a way to figure out who am I going to speak to. So they deploy these systems and give them some logic to be able to establish the top 20 that's worth their time. Speaking about these systems, then it takes us automatically to how the resumes in terms of format and structure should be. We tell job seekers to avoid using columns, avoid using tables, just keep it simple, top to bottom, left to right format. A standard bullet point, standard tech. I lost the word, standard fonts, right? Standard fonts, right? Size 10, size 12, Arial, New Time Roman, all these things. And try to use also when you go to the ChatGPT, and we'll see in a few minutes how we construct the verbiage that we're going to add to our resume. We want to remember to use active words and contribution words like led, achieved, earned, completed, accomplished, all the stuff, so people can see your accomplishments clear. Okay, so that being said, with the sections that I have just said, and saying that the resume's length does not really matter, this is the format that I was sharing. So you have here a title that's clear and sets the listening from the first line. The employer reads this or holds this. It's saying what I am doing and who I am. In this example is a program manager, and then the program manager here has their profile, all these bullet points between what they stand for, the total number of years of experience, their hands-on, the soft skills, certain tools. These are constructed powerfully, and I call them your arsenal. So these are all your arsenal of weapons where I am ready for this job. Here is my credentials here. And then this is the section of the core strengths where they say they are like into IT and program management, and then software development, digital transformation, risk analysis and migration, if the budget's running, budget change management, strategy formation, whatever they need as a core strengths they put here, and the technologies they have been using here. In that sense, this guy was was in IT, so using Oracle ERP systems. They use Microsoft projects because they are project management, into project management, SharePoints, Jira, Trello, Microsoft Office, anything like that. So if you look at that page, when we said it doesn't matter how long, I am giving in page number 1 all the keywords and all the strengths and profile that an HR person needs, and they don't need even to go into my professional experience, except if they choose to. But I've given them everything on page 1 that they need to establish in 30 seconds whether I am good to go to the short list or I am not. So that's why I said it's not important how long. In the recruiter will look at this one and establish. They're not gonna spend time on your detailed experience because they're not subject matter experts, but this will give them a hint that, okay, he has everything that's in the job description, all the keywords match, I can move him, and the hiring manager could establish whether they're a technical fit or not. When the resume goes to the hiring manager, and that's why we said it should not be very short. If you're at 15 years old, 20 years, 15 years of experience or 20 years of experience, right? The hiring manager would like to know, have a different question. It's not whether you match the job description or not. They want to understand where did you do it, and what was the scope, and who did you do it at. So they are the ones that are going to scroll later on into a 4-page resume or 5-page resume. And I always tell people my resume is 6 pages and it fish all the time, right? Because I've given this 1-pager to whoever is a recruiter, and the other I've left it for a manager to dig in and discover what they need to discover. Okay. So that being said, okay, in the 1-page resume, we talked about adding the title and setting the tone for how to listen to the remaining of the resume, and then the profile comes after the title, supporting the title. So here is where you are supposed to hook the reader and sell the reader on who you are. That would make a difference for you later on.
And do you want to get questions while you're speaking, or you want to get questions at the end?
I'll get questions at the end. Okay. I have a Q&A question for that, just so that I don't interrupt the flow. And then this section is important for resumes that are also long, right? You have 15 years, I said, plus of experience. So you want to not cut yourself short on that. And I would say that you keep it to 6 to 8 bullets at the maximum, so that it's not a long and boring read. Okay. And one of these bullets should be summarizing your job description, your number of years of experience. Some people don't do that, and they think that the employer is going to count the 10, 20 jobs down in the resume and figure out the number of years. So then the core strengths section that we talked about, and we said that this is the areas of expertise, if you would call them, and then 8 to 10 relevant areas related. And this is not hands-on technical skills. So they are like project management versus Microsoft project software. So project management would be an area of expertise. Microsoft project software would go under the technical skills needed to support the job or to carry out the job. And if you go to the technical skills here, you'll see things like, for example, if I'm talking still on the project management as an example, Microsoft Dynamics, Jira, Monday.com, these are technical skills. If I'm somebody who works with hardware, machinery like 3D printer, because I am a graphic designer, it goes also in the skills. They need to know that I know to use this 3D printer. Sometimes it's not software and hardware, sometimes it's methodology, right? So I leverage the agile methodology, I leverage the project management book of knowledge, all these things people need to know. If in my career, I implement Oracle systems, so I write like application methodology of Oracle, like something called the AIM or OUM. So I put that as I am practiced or I have experience with such methodologies implementing Oracle. Now, so that being said as basics, we can now move to, okay, now I have the framework, I have the context, okay, how am I going to deploy AI into that? So a little bit of tips about AI so that we are clear as well. So in my opinion, AI today, the way it is today, okay, I call it that your 12 years old kid who has a lot of energy, but is not a subject matter expert. So you want to understand that you are the subject matter expert in your career, in your profession, and AI is here to help you, and it does a lot of things easier, so you can leverage that, but you are in control. So I also say that AI is your obedient servant, right? But it's your career and it's your job hunt. So you drive AI and don't let it drive you, okay? AI also, because it gets from pools of historic data, can parrot input and suggest stuff out of context. So so always massage the text that comes out of AI and make sure it's relevant in terms of logic and it reads well. Sometimes when we say go do this from the job description, we find that it's bringing things from the job description and saying, for example, I have done this at XY company. So if you keep that, people will like, what is this? You know, you haven't even worked for us. Why is our company in your resume? So you have to be aware of such things. Listening to the job description yourself, which means that before you deploy AI onto the resume, read the job description yourself, internalizing, and use AI like the way we're using a calculator today. I use it for fast processing, right? I'm leveraging the AI to do the stuff that it would take me 2 hours. It would take the AI 2 minutes. That's about it. So it will help us in things like analyzing the job description, figure the relevant keywords, list the relevant skills or the areas of expertise in a job. Okay, now AI is diverse, and then I'm not going to talk about ChatGPT specifically, but when I say AI, ChatGPT is one of it, Gemini, I don't know, DeepSeek, Manus, whatever you call it, all that is under the same category and try to deal with the same mindset, okay? Now I want to take questions here before we go and see some ways of handling the job description or listening to the job description, analyzing the job description on an actual resume or job description. Ahmed, you said there was questions?
Yeah, there was some questions in the chat. Let me just get it for you. Which also Mike was saying, are we not expected to write the profile summary? Again, maybe I'll let Mike.
It was breaking for me.
I'll let Mike unmute so that he can maybe discuss more of his question.
Okay, let's go from the top. Nike or Nike, are we not expected to write the job summary? Okay. So on are we not expected to write? Some job seekers, you can come off mute and ask your question again if you want, just to make sure I got it correct. But a summary of profile is something that I always recommend because I coach job seekers to create something called a personal pitch, and then what they stand for as a profession, not what they do or what they have, what they stand for. And I recommend that it's always in bullet number 1 to set the listening along with the title in a powerful way. Some job seekers that are, for example, fresh graduates out of school, they say like, okay, I don't have anything to write in a profile. I've not even built a profile yet. And then that's where I ask them in that profile to do their personal pitch, a variation of the personal pitch that sits there. What do they stand for? What difference do you want to make in the world? So a statement of the future, not the past that obviously doesn't have the enough experience. What they graduated in, if they worked any projects that they accomplished something in, they say it. So you can make up a profile whenever you want. I hope that answered the question, right? And for 15 years, 8 years plus, Definitely should have one. I won't even say 8 plus 5 years plus. You should definitely have 100%. Right? You have things to say there. Then GTA. I'm not sure what the question. See, I see this a very condescend content on the first page. I'm not quite sure what that means. If you can get off, mute and tell me what do you mean there. I think we're on this 5 minutes break for quick Q&A, so you can always come off the mute. Ahmed, they can come off mute, right?
Yes, now they can come off mute.
Yeah, come off mute and ask your
You
question.
wanna,
Raise your hand and ask your questions.
they
I'm
may
gonna
not
stop
be able to
sharing
raise their
just to be
hand, but
able.
they can.
Okay, that's fine. Whoever has a question can come
Yeah,
on
Ash,
and say the question verbally. Go ahead, Ash.
let me give you the mic. You can come off mute now.
Ash, what's your question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was sorry, I was struggling with the mute button. Yeah,
Mhm.
I had a question on in your like just use of AI. Have you seen it more helpful in having like a subscription or pay subscription to like ChatGPT or something like that, or is
No, for the
does it make a
basic use.
difference?
For the
Yeah.
basic use, I don't think you have to pay money for that. But if you're using it extensively, I noticed in ChatGPT when I move to the subscribed version, I can put projects. I can create something called project, and I can contain relevant content under certain projects, so the machine learns about that project and always have relevance to that project versus dumping the memory, and then I have to train it from the very beginning.
From
So
scratch. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Got
but
it.
I
Got it.
see it even if you maintain the same window and deal with the window like a project. If you maintain one window and always do the stuff on that same chat and extend that chat, I find that ChatGPT is learning from it. But there is still a risk of at one point to say, oh, we dumped the memory, so we don't have the 2-3 months ago stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've been using. I'm just curious, like, just on that aspect of, in terms of, if there is like a specific model, right, that seems to do better when it comes to like resumes and tailoring and all that. So that was really, and then if it's
Yeah.
that was really where my question was. I've been personally been using ChatGPT and also Claude, which
Yeah.
with the two that I kind of use. And I know what you're talking about as far as project code. So yeah, I was
So,
just curious
the same thing applies where, again, don't forget that you are you are controlling that tool and it's at your disposal. So, for example, I don't endorse so far done for you kind of resumes and done for you stuff. I've ventured with a couple of tools. I can't endorse one end to end at all. And because I work in IT myself, most of the solutions are IT driven from technology up, not from need down. So they always have certain gaps. They're not 100%. You can leverage a tool to give you 50-60% of the work, but then you complete the other 40%, 25%, and make sure you review the 60. Ultimately, you're responsible when you finish using the tool and you submit. The employer only knows Ash. He doesn't know what tools you used after. It doesn't matter for them. It's how you presented yourself that makes a difference, not how you reach that point, right?
Yeah. And the other thing is, so one thing that I've been playing around with is also looks like ChatGPT and also other models. If you ask them like, what is their how well the resume will, and if you give the resume and how well it will fare against ATS, it gives actually some scores. So I don't know if how reliable they are, but it does give some scores.
Reliable you can detect when you review yourself. For example, I noticed give job description, get me stuff from the job description, and then I look at the job description, because I told you I start by reading the job description. It's not just a copy and paste there. So when it gives me the result, I look at the result and I establish that, you know what, you're missing stuff, right? You didn't get everything that, so, and your summary was not the strongest. So I can ask it again. I say, no, I don't like this result. Try again, or you've missed that or this. But I'm always ruling over that piece of technology.
Yeah, no, absolutely. At the end of the day, you need to review everything line by line if you're using AI before you submit anything, right? So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's your name. The other day I was talking. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who said, well, there's companies there that I'm having modeled, and they will apply for you for jobs instead of you applying and all this stuff. I said, that's all great, but when it comes to customizing what I'm applying, who's the subject matter expert here? The person, they can apply for me for 100 companies, and they can burn out my profile with 100 companies also if they did a mistake, right? So here's the thing. Even throughout my coaching and with my coaches in my programs, I find that we are always trying to take the shortcut. We're trying to cut corners to get to the job as soon as possible, and that cutting corners is the one that comes and burns us later on, right? So I, as much as people want to leverage things, and I just want to make sure it's not the lazy approach where like I'm going to let somebody else do it, right? So just balance between that, right?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions in the chat, or anyone has to?
Yes.
Is there? Yes. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay. So my question is regarding the AI use to use AI effectively for our resume. Does it mean us getting information from AI and then paraphrasing it? Is that what makes it effective, or how?
Yes. So, for example, let me share again, since we're talking about this topic, and this was what it was going to be next. Okay, so I'll show you here, for example. This is a sample job description. Okay, so in this sample job description, okay, I have given that, for example, that prompt. You know, I'll give you a job description, analyze this job description, build 5 bullet points of 2 lines each for the purpose of adding them to the profile section of a resume, and use present tense. Okay, so I use that against this, and then it comes up from analyzing all these to something like this. See, so it took a job description of 2 pages, and then it came up with something like that. Now, having read the job description, I am going to read these and start what I call, now this is data. Most IT people will know something called in IT called massaging the data, or the data is coming in a raw format, and you're applying some logic on top of it, and you're clearing the data, cleansing the data, all this stuff. So the ChatGPT gave me this. My job now is to read this, and I've read the job description and sense with it and see, is it the best representation of the job description? Did it summarize the job description in a way that I can adopt these bullet points or not? And is it parroting, or is it not parroting that? Can I inject something? Can I change something on that? And this is my choice to do and my decision to make. Most of the time, I will go and massage some of the information in with a nearly 50% chance I am not taking it copy and paste. I am doing something on top of that. And now, ChatGPT and AI, they have certain consumed lingo. For example, I use it to leverage content for my stuff, right? Like my content for coaching, right? And it takes me, I can tell you, it takes me 2 hours to get it to articulate what I want to say properly, because when I say we're talking about this topic and I want to talk about this topic, it runs down something that has nothing to do with my line of thought. It's going digging into the history and giving me everything. So one of the famous stuff that I usually joke about, when you give it something and talk about job, it will always say your dream job, your dream job. And it has this, no matter what content you're going to write, it will keep saying your dream job, your dream job. For me, I don't subscribe to dream job, because the dream job becomes, if it's always a dream for you and I, it will always be a dream. So I don't like the word dream job. So job seekers do not think it's something that's a dream and not attainable. So I changed that to your ideal job, your desired job, something on the ground, right? You definitely need some job. You have something in your mind that you're searching for. I use desired job. You know your skill set, and you might be looking for the ideal job that fits your skill set. So let's call it ideal job, but that dream job, I don't subscribe to. So it does something like that also. When it generates this, it will go and read and do something. And sometimes it takes, as I was saying before, input from within the job. Like this company, for example, it will take the name of the company and the abbreviations of the company and put it in the summary. Yeah, but that's specific to this company. I don't know that abbreviation or that department in this company except when I'm working in this company. But I am not working today in this company, so I cannot use this because it will be simply parroting, right? And once the people see on the other side, the HRC, that you're writing something, they will laugh at whatever is written, and most likely your profile will be put to the side. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you so much.
And I've made the answer complex so that we see what we give. Now, you talk about ChatGPT, people will tell you there's tons of prompts that you can use. There's no agreement in the market that this is the best prompt, right? Even people talk about prompt engineering. People talk about, well, set up the AI before you talk to them. Let them know their role. You are going to do X and I am Y. I am, looking for a job. I'm out of a job. I was laid off. I'm out of school. This is my first job. Give them the context and then give them the role. You're going to play the role of blah, blah, blah. You're going to analyze my resume. You're going to do this. And then after you set them up, you give them the prompt. Now, some people are more hands-on than another in writing prompts. Some people have a reference of writing prompts. Some people would go into TikTok and all this stuff and listen for prompts and all this stuff. Get the ideas as much as you can, and don't spend hours analyzing the prompts, because that will waste your time. Regardless of what the prompt is, use your mind and expertise and who you are and your subject matter expertise in that field of the job to adjust whatever ChatGPT is going to give you back, right? Make sense? So what I'm looking for ChatGPT, similar to this prompt, is the following. When we went to the presentation, we said, I am looking for them to analyze the job description. Get me the relevant keywords. The prompt that I had, give me 5 bullets to put in blah, 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 blah. That one as well, right? Give me the relevant skill set, areas of expertise from this job. It will do that for you. And then sometimes I like to play with ChatGPT, and when they give me an answer, I tell them, are you sure? And sometimes the prompt will come back, oh, I'm very sorry, good catch, blah, blah, blah. It's actually this, not that. So the tool is not perfect, at least as of yet, but can I leverage on however it is to make my life easy? Definitely yes. The answer is yes. What other questions?
Okay, thank you so much. So I have a follow-up question.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so let's say we already have resume that we have prepared. That's the original resume which we'll need to tailor. So let's say we already have an idea of what we want to write on our resume, and then we needed ChatGPT to preview that. Do we attach our resume, or we just copy and paste?
You can attach your resume, you can copy and paste, you can attach the resume, and you can attach the job description. Now, some of the free versions do not, they will run out of space for you to attach multiple times. So if you're applying for 4 jobs and you're attaching 2 files times 4 jobs, they might come at the 3rd or 4th job and say you cannot attach files now, do it after 24 hours. So that's not that, that's for the free versions. So if that's the case, if it's only one section, you can always copy and paste the job description. It doesn't have a problem of how long it reads, right? So you can copy and paste the job description. You can copy and paste that section and set it up and say, I'm going to give you a job description, and then I'm going to give you a section called my summary of qualifications of the resume, and I want you to validate if my section has covered on to most of the aspect of the job description. Am I in a good shape to apply or not? And it will tell you, right?
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
I'm sorry, Ahmed, your voice is fading. I don't know if it's my speaker. My slides are done. My slides are done. We opened into the prompts that can be used, and this is one of the prompts. I can even put it to on the chat of the meeting. So this is one. And Ahmed, if you have also prompts, I know you're very handy with that. We can add some prompts to the chat. Yeah, and I can continue on something when we get these. You see, I asked for 5 bullets. Am I going to use the entire 5 bullets? No, I asked for 5 because I want to use 4. Now, if you remember, I said that the profile section already has 6 to 8 bullets, right, already. So what you're going to be doing is you're not going to add the 5 to the 6 and 8 and make it 13. You're going to replace or merge whatever you have with what ChatGPT has. I used to have this prompt that says blend my current one with the above without compromising on the job description. I didn't find that it did a good job. It usually made my bullets overrule what's coming from the job description, and I don't want that. I want the coming from the job description to for me to adapt what is coming from the job description, right? Again, in an attempt to listen to the job description more accurate. So I don't want my self-bias to overcome what the job description is actually saying or looking for. Again, this is your forum, so we still have 15 minutes. You know, ask tons of questions that you can. Don't shy, get off mute, ask all your questions, because that's really a good forum to answer the question. Go ahead, Gadir.
Yeah, I noticed that AI, it has like a specific way in writing. Like even if we tell that make the resume looks like a human written, like even if we change the prompts, I still feel that in general, like if someone look at the resume, it can tell that it's AI written. Is that okay, or is there another way that we can tweak even, you know, like the bullets point, like it has like specific way to give it? So I'm not sure if that is okay or if there is another way to tweak the way that AI.
So I'll take you back to the basics. So what did we say? Who's in control?
Like us, yeah.
Okay, and then you asked it to do what? You asked it to make it humanly. So you're asking the machine to act like a human. The human is sitting giving the prompts. So I am the human. I'm going to go and do it. And let me to put you on the easy side. You see, the resume alone and AI alone does not cut does not carry the day for a job application or finding a job, right? So unless you marry that, what you're doing with a sound job hunt methodology or strategy, it's going to do a less, right? It's not going to do the entire job. So you want to work on the quality side of things, not the quantity. So I find that because we are very attached to online applications and we want to do only online application, because again, it's easier than doing the networking and exposing myself and being vulnerable, asking people for help, yada, yada, yada. So I am still on the online. Now the online, because the online is easy, I find myself wanting to catch up with 40, 50 applications every week. Every job that's flying out there, I'm going to apply for it. So in that quest, I want to use and leverage AI so that it can help me further, but I am also inherently compromising on the quality. So I would rather that instead of applying for 50 jobs a week or 100 jobs a week, whatever is flying, is to be very specific with only 20, right? Or even 10, but I give each one of the 10 my full shot. I'm reviewing, so I am not kidding when I tell people, if you're not spending 1 hour, and I'll keep it at 1 hour max, adjusting your resume to the job that you're applying for, something is missing in that quality of that application. So if I say 1 hour for application, and then I am doing 3 applications I'm assuming people are out of job, because that's a different story when somebody is upgrading and working already 40 hours. So if I am targeting 3 jobs today and I'm spending 3 hours for 3 applications, which means that if I do that every day, working days only, I'm going to enjoy a weekend and break for my hard work that I did in the 5 days. So I'm talking about 15 applications, quality applications per week. Now you'll tell me, oh, but 15 is less. I say yes, because online application, that is the weight of it. Spend your time talking to people, networking with people, because no matter how good your resume is, it's still a piece of paper, right? You are choosing to reduce yourself to that piece of paper, and you're holding this piece of paper that is not communicative enough, and going to people and saying, here's a piece of paper, here's a piece of paper, here's a piece of paper, and then who you are is not appearing anymore. And then you sit back and wonder, why are people not hiring me? Because they don't want to hire a piece of paper, they want to hire a human. But the human is not there. The human is hiding behind the desk, behind the terminal.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I know, I completely get it. It's not easy to, like in emotional intelligence and human development, we speak a lot about being vulnerable, and it's part of being human. People hide when they get laid off. Why? You don't hide. It happens everywhere. You hide, you're missing opportunity. Okay, if I'm searching and I searched for 3-4 months, I didn't find a job, I'm making myself bad, and then I'm hiding because I don't want to go back and say, hey, you know what, I tried for 4 months, it didn't work. Help, anybody, help. No, I don't want to do that. I would rather say, like, I'm going to figure it out next week. I'm going to figure it out 2 weeks, and then it becomes 4 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, right? And then the more you stay in it, the more it becomes difficult to tell people what you were doing 8 months and 1 year. So it's always feeding downward spiral. So anybody on this call, be careful of what happens behind the scenes. It's like, that, I don't know what the show is called, the dolls that you the puppet shows, yeah, with the strings. So these strings, you are here, I am the puppet, and the strings is all the circumstances that are moving me, and I'm not even aware that these strings are in the background. I think I'm an independent puppet, but actually it's tied to all these things of not being vulnerable, afraid, scared, hiding. All these things are the ones that are moving me into territories that I don't want to be in. More questions? Ahmed, I've talked. My mouth is hurting now, so it's your time now to. The sound is fading, Ahmed, in and out.
Is it better now? Is this better?
Yeah, Much better, much
Yeah.
better. Yeah, clear.
So again, networking is your much, more focus in your job search
Went in and
than.
out again.
Sorry, is it fading again?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
When you switch your head somehow, it is better. When you look at us, it fades. So I don't know if you're
because I'm
directly
using
talking to the
another
mic on the
computer
side.
for the mic. That's why.
Okay, that's fine. We get who you are, so talk to it, and we will figure out that you're looking at us. No problem.
Sounds good. Okay. Yeah. So what I was just saying that resume is definitely an important aspect of the journey, but networking is the most important thing. If you don't do networking, if you don't speak to people, that's where the hidden market, that's where the hidden jobs are there, and you should definitely try to make a relationship, a good connection with people, so that they can really endorse you, they can recommend you, they can also you can know about the target companies. How do you position yourself? That's something that you need to work on yourself in order to be able to land that job. It takes time for you to build your own positioning, your own pitch. How do you fit with this kind of job or company? That takes time. So it's very important again to continuously speak to people, do some online applications, but again, your biggest chance is through people.
And it doesn't have to be like if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go to people and say I need a job, it doesn't have to spell out this way. This is who I am. This have been what I've been doing. I want to make a difference. I want to contribute. I want to make a difference. I want to contribute. Right? You're not saying the word job, but I want to make a difference. I want to contribute. I want to contribute. I want to make a difference. Until people is like, get them something to make a difference. They're so committed. I see them every time saying that they're not sparing any effort. They're knocking on every door. Get them a job. So our people outside of you are now promoting you, right? Like, get them a job. Like, I don't have a job, but you have a job. Get Ghadir a job. Get Ash a job. Get blah blah blah. So it doesn't have to be straight. I need a job. I know it's a difficult proposition to say, well, I need a job. And to be honest, when you be straightforward with people saying, I need a job, they turn around and they run because they think that you're going to hold on to them like the drowning person holding into a log of wood or something tightly. So they think that's going to happen. But when you say, I want to contribute, you leave it open for them to establish what way of contribution that is. They start suggesting, they are relaxed, they will talk to you. Also, we talked about the resemblance between a job hunt and dating and all this stuff. If you meet especially if a guy meets a female for the first time, he's committed, blah blah blah, and on the first date they say we want to get married, right? He's committed. Right? He knows where he's going, but the minute he says that, the girl freaks out. Right? It's like, hey, it's just the first date, man. Where are you? Where are you taking us? Right? Like, what do you want? You're crazy or nuts? We don't even know one another. But vision, he or she has a vision. They know what the end goal is. So we also know the end goal is a job. But do it delicately and with some introductions. I want to contribute. I want to make a difference. And let me know. Come to this call again and let us know when I did that, whether it made a difference or not with you. There's nothing written in stone. This is not a holy script coming from somewhere. This is all our expertise. We can be right. We can be wrong. You are the one who's going to take it on and go into the market. Put it on like you're putting, a jacket or something on you. Walk with it comfortably. If you feel it's tight on you, you're feeling it's not comfortable, feel free to take it out and throw it. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Anyone else wanna chime in or ask some questions? We're here for you guys, so we're happy to answer your questions. I think there's some discussions in the chat, but I don't think there is a question.
We're talking about value. No, Tammy, you're knowing your value and what you bring to the company is also extremely important and will show in your resume. Your confidence will introduce you. Absolutely, Tammy is on point, and that's why I keep telling people if you're doing the job hunt without a strong personal pitch that says what you stand for and the difference you have making, it's a big missing. Because when we open our mouth, we say blah, 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 gibberish. You know, I am talking Japanese, and the recipient is Norwegian, right? So it's not the same. It's not the same thing, right? Inside our skin, and one of the other things I'll share here is I often tell my coaches after the interview, because we're doing it online, record it if you can, okay, and keep it for your personal knowledge. Listen to yourself speaking. And when they listen to themselves speaking, and then I ask them, did you listen? Most of them laugh or smile. I say, why are you smiling and laughing? They say, because we had no clue that comes out of our mouth, right? It's like, who's that guy sitting in that seat? That's not me. I said, you see, there's an inherent value to hear yourself speaking, because when I speak now, even me giving that talk to you in my skin, I think I'm done fantastic and the message reached. Whether my message reached or not, that's something completely different. That's up to the recipient to tell me, yes, the message reached, no, the message did not land, right?
Any other questions? Tammy, do you want to chime in here? Do you want to have any follow-up? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for inviting me in, because I think this is a really great space and I think it's important. And as I was going through the resume, I think about my kids and where my kids are right now when they're trying to apply for jobs, and the way that my son has always been in a space where he knows his value. And so he writes his resume, he job seeks, and he is now headhunted at 30 years old by multiple companies at a constant pace because he knows his value, and he will turn down a job if he doesn't think that it fits what he wants. And I think that's where I brought in that space of knowing who you are, knowing your value, knowing what you bring to the table, and letting go of the imposter syndrome. And that takes a lot of work as we work through our mindset. And so sometimes, when you're starting to write your resumes, and you're starting to think about the profile, and you're starting to think about who am I and what do I bring to the table, you're going to find yourself catching and going, ooh, is that really me? And so dig in and realize that it's really you. And then the resume is going to write and the job is going to come to you. And that's it. Know what you want and you're going to get it.
Yes, to Tammy's point, if that one pager at the first page introduce you powerfully, I always say it will sell you with a 70%. And if they call you, you have a remaining 30%. And your role in the 30% on an interview is not to blow the 70% that was built by the time they read the resume. So you just stay put. You want to close that 30% that's remaining. Now they know who you are on paper. They bring you in to see if they like you and they can trust you, right? And your role on the interview is to keep that liking and trusting alive. If that happens, most likely you're going to move to the next level, and most likely you're going to get an offer. Ahmed, your voice again is...
sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's time for the selfie. If you want to be a celebrity for this call, and then we can stay for a bit, longer after that, just to answer any questions afterwards. So if you want to, be in camera and join the selfie, I'll just do 1, 2, 3 and smile, so that you guys can join. So when you're ready, do this. Awesome. When you're ready, I'll say 1, 2.
Ahmed, I think you're talking again, but the mic is...
I don't know why this is happening, but
can anyone hear Ahmed, or just me, or...
No, we can't.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say 1, 2, 3, and you can smile.
Okay, so we're still taking it. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
It's here too. Okay, awesome. So 1, 2, 3, and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. I hope my sound is still okay for you. But again, thank you so much, Coach Mo. This was amazing call and definitely lots of insights. I'll just wait for a few more minutes. If there is more questions, we can take any other questions that you wanna ask for myself or Coach Mo. Let's see here. I don't see questions. Anyone else before we leave it there? So again, I think again, before we drop, definitely focus on your target, focus on your goal before you write your resume. This is very, very important if you really wanna um, deliver a good resume. Make sure you have a clear target because if you're spraying and praying, that's not gonna help. If you're adding everything in your resume, that's not gonna help. You have to be very clear on what are you selling, how you are selling it, what values do you bring to this company, what problems you're solving, and accordingly, that would help you position yourself. Abdullah, I think you have your hand raised. Let me give you a mic. Hold on a second. Okay, now you can unmute and ask the question.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Thanks, Abdullah.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you first to give me the opportunity to talk. But I want to just conclude the things regarding finding a job or hunting a job. It's like a journey starting from like what you are looking for, like what you are targeting exactly. And if you need to ask your question whether I'm matching with this job description or not. It's like a process. So you're gonna start finding like a job, and you need to be like honestly that if you are able to do this job or not. And that's I'm gonna talk with about this later on. But first of all, you need to target the job which match your profile or match your capability to do the job. The second thing is to build the resume. This is the second step, building the resume or the cover letter, which is match the job. And I hear some of the people talking about the AI. I recommend to use the AI, but not to build the whole resume, just to see if the job description, because they are using the ASC, the system for reading the resume to find you are matching with percentage, which is a good feature. You can use it to match between your resume and the job description, and you can see where is exactly the gaps, and you start filling this gap. This is very, very good. The third step is I recommend that you go to the website itself of the company rather just like upload like easy apply. Some of them is okay, but to try if you find something having you can share a cover letter with the resume. That's very, very good. The fourth thing is the interview, and there is like a bunch of interview you need to go within it, like the orientation. After that, you're gonna go with like maybe your manager, the hiring manager. Maybe you're gonna go the technical. You need to be ready for all this sequence of interviews. Interviews. This is very important. This is the hard making the resume is what is very important step, but the interview is the most important part. You need to train very well about how you're gonna talk, what you are preparing, matching. You're gonna prepare yourself for the questions, expected question for this position, and so on and so on and so on. You need to talk with yourself and listen to yourself and see and like a guys who gonna go to the stage and talking, and he's ready to answer most of the question. There's exception that some of the area you don't know, But I used to go, I'm a fast learner for some of the area, but some of them they accept it, some of them they don't accept it. Now regarding the things, if you find yourself, that's what I mean, find yourself, you know, about 30% of something or 40%, that's okay, or 50%, that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're not qualified. But at least whenever you find something in your road to learn, try to learn it. If you find like something is in the job market, they require you to learn it to get a job, learn it, take a courses, try to pay money to learn this one. It's no matter. You keep learning till you get what you're looking for. That's my big advice for everybody.
Thank you,
Don't
Abdullah.
stand,
Thank you, Abdullah, so much. Yeah,
yeah, don't
appreciate
stand,
it.
yeah, don't stop.
100%. Thank you so
Okay.
much for the wisdom. And again, I know that you have already been in the job hunt as well, and you've
Yeah,
done a lot for yourself, and that's what you're sharing. Thank you so much, Abdullah, for that.
thank you.
Any question? Anyone else you wanna ask Coach Mo or myself in this forum before we end up? Okay, I think that's it for today. So definitely thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and wishing you all the best. Please stay positive, stay proud. Your job is out there. There is definitely a lot to do to get that job, but if you do the right steps, if you really make this clear journey for you with a clear goal, clear target on what you're really targeting in terms of again the role, the companies, the people that you wanna be with, that would help you make the good steps in your progress. Thank you so much. Please join us again every Sunday, the same time, the same link. This is what we do every Sunday. We are also having the job fair this Wednesday, noon Eastern. So if you want to again join, 8,000 plus professionals who have already registered, Invest Ottawa, Indeed, Microsoft, and so many other professionals who are coming to help you with an answer, and some recruiters who are also going to share open jobs. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much, Coach Mo. This was
Thank you. Ahmed, thank you so much for all your effort that you do to bring this call together, and all the things you do offline and the activities throughout the week. A huge commitment and a big shout out to your effort. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, Coach Mo. Okay, thanks everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll chat again soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.